Who doesn't love to be Spider-Man? Web slinging around New York, beating up bad guys, getting the girl. Recently, we were treated to the announcement of Spider-Man Miles Morales, which will be coming to the PS5. This got us thinking about our favorite Spider-Man games across the consoles. Here are our top 5. Number 5. Ultimate Spider-Man. Staying true with the Ultimate Spider-Man comic book series art style, the Ultimate Spider-Man is something special for the Spider-Man comic fan. It has a lot of iconic Spider-Man villains, as well as some other heroes featured in the game, including Luke Cage and even Nick Fury. The story was adopted straight from the comic issues 71 through 128, making it one hell of a story. If you haven't played this classic Spider-Man game, you should definitely check it out now. Number 4. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions.
What prowls the halls of Empire State University after dark?
This one stepped a little bit away from the open world and threw us into a different levels-based game. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions brings together 4 Spider-Men, all from different dimensions. All of them have their own strengths and weaknesses, as well as ways to play them from stealth to just straight up fists. It also brings in different dimensions of villains, including Hobgoblin and Dr. Octopus. The story follows all 4 of the Spider-Men as they collect fragments to fix their dimensions and close them. This game looks to have inspired the 2018 Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and is just as good to play as it is to watch. Number 3. Spiderman II. It was hard to choose between this one or the original Spider-Man in 2002. But it's one of the best video game adaptations of a film. This was the first Spider-Man game to break into the fully open world. It follows the second film with Doc Ock being the main villain, but also adds a lot more to the story, like the addition of Shockwave and other villains, making a full-blown gaming experience with many enjoyable fights. Plus, it was one of the best games on the PS2. Number 2. PS4 Spider-Man. The most recent on that list, and we can see the argument for number 1. It brought back Spider-Man and threw him back into his roots with an open world and the perfect web-slinging mechanic. It also brought us the now iconic white Spidey suit. It was a fresh take on the story that has been told uncountable times. There's plenty of hints at the story that hasn't been told before, with Peter Parker's friend Harry Osborn becoming Venom. If you're planning on playing any of the future Spider-Man games, you should definitely start with this one. Number 1. Spiderman Web of Shadows. We may have shook up the list a little bit with this pick, but Spiderman Web of Shadows gave Spider-Man a really cool morale system, giving you the choice between getting into a Venom suit or staying true and becoming the hero we all know and love. It also brings in amazing characters like Wolverine and Nick Fury. The story really dives into Spider-Man as not just a hero, but what would happen if he ever became the villain. It also puts you up against one of the most iconic villains, Venom, as he is the main antagonist throughout the story. Depending on your choices throughout the game, it will have a dramatic effect on the world. This is still the only Spider-Man game that we can think that does this, and if you haven't played it, it's a must for any Spider-Man fan. What do you think of our list? What Spider-Man game do you enjoy playing? Don't forget to stay up to date with gaming news and updates at GameStinger, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for great videos, news, and gameplay. I'm Jeff Porter, and we'll see you next time.